An interesting component of the evolutionary arms race is that, regardless of the evolutionary branch, each emerging sense always came into existence as a more sophisticated version of touch.
Sight, for example, only appeared once the cells could pass on the touch of electromagnetic radiation hitting the skin. Smell was simply the touch of microscopic particles floating in the environment. And of course, hearing is the touch of environmental pressure waves. In its later, more complex manifestation, touch could be responsible for the opening of a mouth when encountering food, or even just the reactionary kick away from an unexpected obstacle. But in its simplest stages, touch was responsible for no less than the separation of body and environment. Taking the story back towards the era of first life. Though an individual cell may have been entirely non-sentient, and thus entirely unaware of its surroundings, it was nonetheless chemically aware of its own inner and outer structure. By this I mean that by hosting a cell wall, it, as a system, could be chemically agitated by any change to its internal biochemistry. When either the outer wall or the inner organelles were somehow interrupted, a chemical necessity for balance would ensure that the cell as a system would react, and in doing so, enhance its chance for survival. Though it didn't so much decide to push towards a more sustainable equilibrium, it did, as a system, respond to its situation. And it was these same simple responses to interaction that eventually gave rise to the many varieties of touch that we know today. Thus, according to this theory, without interaction, awareness is impossible. But as already discussed, neither the cell, the nervous system, or the physical body are things of substance. Rather, these bodies and their characteristics are only abstractions of pattern. So long as complexity provides for a more ultimate functionality, an independent structure of relationships can transcend the nature of any individual. For example, cells. These may remain the same as they always had been, but with the evolution of their collective relationships, they now can operate as a nervous system. Be it a cell, a molecule, a nervous system, a characteristic, a species, or any other form of identifiable nature, nouns never signify things that exist in and of themselves, only systems of relationships built upon broader relationships. So interaction as a phenomenon is not just a matter of things bumping into things. Rather, interaction itself is merely another system of relating relations. But the reason why I remind us all of this here is that we should take note that without this abstraction of unity, i.e. bodies, touch could not have been evoked. And as just suggested, without interaction, awareness is impossible. Now, this is an idea that we shall need to unfold in more detail across later chapters, because metaphysically, it's already quite a hefty claim. Awareness requires interaction. But it also sheds light on the nature of interaction itself, since the process of interaction seems to be no different for physical bodies than it does for more abstract structures like behaviours, tendencies, or characteristics. As a nervous system can emerge from the relations held between cells, behaviours and characteristics can emerge from the relations between a nervous system and its environment. Relationships begat relationships. And considering that the neurobiologist has claimed that this process is precisely that which has enabled the universe to turn on consciousness, it should now be clear why seeking a primordial transition should prove crucial to any definition of consciousness. If you enjoyed that and you would like to see the entire episode, it's live right at the moment, or you can head over to our homepage and have a look at the rest of the story that has unfolded across the last year. Otherwise, much love, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. See ya.